Hey everybody, welcome to the channel, 1K Freedom. Last week I uploaded a video about how you could possibly never work again if you had $4,000 in cash, in theory. And I showed a bunch of stuff and some data about how you could make money every month by buying a certain type of stock. But when I looked at the statistics, um, the average duration was about 3 minutes. And hold on, just give me a couple seconds, then we'll get to the nitty gritty. So, but it seems like around a 3 minute mark on average, people kind of started fading. Some people watched till the end, some people did not. But the 3 minute mark is right about here, 2 minutes, 51 seconds. It's when I started talking about all the math behind it. Because I thought, you know what, why don't I just show you the sexy first, show you how much money you can make. But maybe showing all these numbers early on confuse people. Look, you have to know a little bit of math to be financially independent, I believe. You can't just, you have to understand math just a little bit. You don't need calculus. You need some algebra and a little bit of common sense. And so today I'm deciding, you know what, I'm gonna just start with some of the basics. I'm gonna break down what I'm showing you here into little parts over the next few videos. Maybe not every week, because I want to talk about other stuff, because this channel is about living abroad. So I want to talk about other things that I've done or been up to or think are good for others to do, like learn a language. So, but for today though, I'm going to just break down some of the basics so that you kind of know why these funds make so much money. So today we're going to talk about something called calls, okay? Because these funds, because NVDY is just one of the funds, there's many funds. They sell these calls. They call them covered calls, and I'll explain that in a second. And I've done this video a couple of times already, and I didn't like how it was going. And so what I decided was better was, why don't I show you an actual call? Okay, so what we're looking at here is the AMC $5 call that expires on July 19th. You can see it down here, July 19th, okay? And what this means is somebody decided, me in this case, that I would be happy to sell to another person a call, the $5 July 19th $5 call for $75. That's what I sold it for. And I'll show some numbers in a second. And somebody else thought it was a great idea to buy this call from me for $75 or 75 cents each because a call controls 100 shares. A call is a contract. It controls 100 shares of the stock. So what I agreed to is that by July 19th, the buyer of this call could force me to sell shares to them, 100 shares exactly, for $5 each. So by July 19th, let's say the stock is at $6. Right now it's July 4th, but right now, happy July 4th. Right now the stock was about $5.05. So this person's a little bit in the money, so to say. But by July 19th, maybe it'd be worth $6. And at that point, this person could say, okay, you need to sell to me these shares at $5, but he will get $600 of value because the stock is worth $6 a share. Now, if this person bought him for $75, if he bought this call from me for $75, this person will made about 25 bucks. Okay, so that's what it is. This is an agreement. A call is an agreement between a buyer and a seller. The seller has many reasons for why they're selling it, and I won't go into all those reasons. But one of them is to make money, just to make some money. I wanted to make some money, so I bought these shares. I bought 100 shares so that I could then sell the stock. And that's why it's called a covered call, because the call is backed by the actual shares. Now, there's something called the naked call, but I'm not going to talk about today. But that's basically when somebody has so much portfolio value that that person can sell a call without actually owning the stock. It's a bit risky. Ask the people from 2, 3 years ago when they were selling naked calls and GME when it went nuts. Okay, yeah, it's a crazy story, GME. But anyway, so that's it. That's what a call is. I sell you the right to control 100 shares of this stock for a certain duration of time and at a certain strike price. Meaning, now if the stock was at $4.50, the person who bought the call from me could still make me sell it to him at $5 if he was that stupid. At any time, I could be forced to surrender my shares. It's just that logically, that doesn't happen until the current share price is above the strike price, the strike of $5 here. I hope that makes sense. And so now I'm going to show you some of the math behind it to see how profitable these things are, which is why people do them. So I made this little spreadsheet. Once again, they're numbers, and please don't freak out. Just hang in there with me, okay? Just this video so far is only 5 minutes. I'm going to try to keep it under 10, I promise. Okay. So this is real. I actually sold a call. Okay. I bought 100 shares for $4.88 on June 17th. A minute after I sold the 7/19 $5 call, right? The ones that expire on July 19th at a $5 strike. So in the current scenario, I paid $488 to buy those shares. I got $75 of money from the person who bought the call, the premium. So my net cost, my net invested right now is $413 or $4.13. Now, if the shares get taken away from me, if at some point um, the buyer of the call decides that they want the shares, this is the math. Okay, I will receive $500 for the shares, right? Because we agreed that I would sell to them 100 shares at $5. So I get $500. Now, my cost, because I bought the shares and sold the call a minute apart, pretty much simultaneously, I considered my cost $413. So that's the actual cash out of my pocket. So the difference is $87. Okay. So if I just look at the pure return, not annualizing it, $87 divided by $413 is going to be, right? This divided by that is going to be 21%. Now that's pretty good. That's pretty good for a year, right? If you make 21% on your money in a year's time, you're pretty happy. But that was just for a month because once again, I sold them on June 16th, right? June 17th, sorry. And it can be taken away from me on July 19th, about 32 days, close enough to a month. But annualized, if I were to annualize my return, if I were able to repeat this performance every month, that would be 253% return on my money invested. That's pretty amazing, don't you think? That's pretty wild. Okay. So that's kind of why people do these things. They sell them. Okay. Um, and so scenario two, just to give you some idea, if the stock does not go above $5 a share, then the person probably won't call the shares away from me. So I get to keep the stock, I keep the income, the premium that I sold to them, and I can do one of two things. I can sell the stock. Maybe the stock is still sitting at $4.88 by July 19th, or by, let's say, July 19th to 22, because I get control back over the weekend. So the following Monday, I sell the stock, and let's say the stock stays at the exact same price of 488. Well, I made $75 on 413. So that's not as good as maybe the example of $87, but I still made some money, okay? And I could either sell the stock or I could sell the call again. I could sell the August 16th call for at the $5 strike for some money. I could just keep doing this and make money every month doing this, right? Now, there's another thing that you could do. I don't want to complicate it, but basically, let's say I get greedy, and I've done this before, and I don't want to surrender my stock. I could do something called rolling, which is basically simultaneously buying back the call that I sold and then selling another one simultaneously. And usually you get more money because you're pushing it out uh, in the future, right? And maybe you're adjusting your strike. I don't want to go into that detail. I don't want to make this video too long. I just want to tell you, look, people own a stock, they sell calls on it to make money. And it's called selling covered calls because there's the asset is there to back the call that is sold. There's something called the poor man's covered call, whatever, and I'm going to talk about that at a later date. Okay, the next video possibly. But I don't want to go. It's already this video is already 10 minutes, so this is it. This is what a covered call is. Someone has shares. They sell calls against it for money for whatever reasons they decide to. That's it. That's how they make their money. These funds sell covered calls. The specifics are different. They don't necessarily always have shares. I will cover that in the next video. Okay, thanks so much for watching. Have a good one. This is not financial advice. This is just for entertainment purposes only. I need to put that disclaimer. Forgot to do it. Hold on a second. Okay, there's my disclaimer to cover my ass because I'm not a financial professional. I'm just this person learning like everybody else. I'm sharing some information that I've learned over time. Not financial advice, just for entertainment purposes only. And like I said in the last video, when you're learning topics, you shouldn't just listen to one person. You should get others to talk about it and get their perspectives. Everybody might have a little bit different perspective. And you owe it to yourself, if you're investing your money, to understand what you're doing. But with a little effort, you can learn. Okay, I learned. Just took a little bit of effort. That's all. I've tried to encourage you not to be dissuaded right away because you see numbers and you're frustrated with numbers and you melt down. Don't. Okay, because where else in your life do you just get frustrated and you melt down and you stop trying? This sounds terrible. I don't want to sound like this terrible coaches that like try to guilt you and stuff like that. But you know, if you have a tendency just to quit before even figuring it out, you're probably not accomplishing a lot in your life, right? If you just shut down before you even start trying. So please, if this interests you, if you want to make money, if this is fascinating to you, and you think getting that much money every month from a stock, right? $2 from a stock every month that only costs you $30 because okay, I'm going NVDY this month paid like $2.50. So once again, it paid a lot of money. It'll pay it in July 5th, I believe. That's a lot of money. So don't you think it's worth maybe just trying to understand what it does? Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'm sorry for making the video so long. Hang in there. Peace out.